this program works. Nathan's going to do some demonstrating for us as we go. So today we are doing a 20-minute AMRAP. So a 20-minute AMRAP means as many rounds as possible inside of 20 minutes. We have 5 exercises we're going to go through, and we're just going to keep going through those exercises over the next 20 minutes. The way this works today is you have to kind of keep track of your own counting. So what you're going to do is you're going to do 2 reps of each exercise that we teach. So we have 5 exercises. You do 2 reps, 2 reps, 2 reps, 2 reps, 2 reps. And then the next round, you'll come through and do 4, 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6, 6. So you're going up by 2 each time, all the way up until as high as you can possibly go inside of the 20 minutes. So let's say we get to close to 20 minutes and you're at 18 reps of each, 18, 18, 18, 18, 18, right? So everybody's going to be at a different pace. I can't really tell you where you're at on your reps. All I'm going to do is kind of keep calling out the different exercises so you remember what exercise to do next. You just got to remember which of those, how many reps you're on. Just make sure you're going through. It's 18 of squats all the way down to 18 of sit-ups. There's going to be 5 exercises. So we'll go through demonstrating of those, and I'll remind you about how that works again, okay? So exercise number 1 we're going to do today is going to be a squat. So variation number 1 is we can do a body weight squat, just going up and down, under control. Pretty simple. We can always add a weight to that and do the same thing, up and down. Goblet squat style, which just means that we keep it in that chest position. You can hold on to a medicine ball if you need. From there, you can always turn it into a couch sit. If you have a couch that takes a little bit of pressure off the knees, you can sit on a box or couch or something of that nature. And then for those of you guys that can't do any squatting, we have a wall sit, and we're just going to count the hands. We'll make those hands a little bit slower so that way that wall sit has a little bit more value. If you just go crazy fast, it won't really matter. But you just count hands, 1, 2, then 3, 4. Okay, so goblet squats exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is a hand walkout, which is the beginning part of an inchworm. So just walking our hands out, walking our hands back. If you want to make that a little harder, you can always walk your hands out and add a push-up to it. Make sure you're really good at push-ups because that's really going to add up in volume. So we have a hand walkout as exercise number 2. Every time you come back to that beginning position is 1. Back out, 2. Exercise number 3 is going to be a row. So this is exercise number 3 is going to be a row. So in a row position, we're going to stand on our band, and we can use a band or we can use a dumbbell. We're going to drive our hips back. I'm going to pull into that rib cage. 1, 2, 3, or however many we have to go on that. Also on a dumbbell, you'd be the same position. You're pulling towards the bottom of the rib cage. You can do that in a seated position too. Nate's going to show with the dumbbells quick. Same idea, pulling down. From there, we can go seated if you have a little bit. If you have a band and you have some back issues, you can always do it in a seated position. Same idea, pulling towards that rib cage. 1, 2, all the way up to however many reps we're on. If you have no band and no dumbbells, we can do a Superman position. On a Superman, we're just going to come up, squeeze the legs off the ground and the arms off the ground, squeezing the glutes together. We just want to get a little lift. Now, that's only if you don't have something to do a row on. That's exercise number 3. Exercise number 4 is what we call a shoulder flexion jumping jack. So our hands are going to go straight over into like almost a Y position as we're coming up, and then we're doing a jumping jack with the bottom part, right? So we're coming over top, different type of jumping jack. 1, 2, okay? You can always do a step out jack or a march jack instead if you can't do the jumping. And if you're somebody that has shoulder issues and can't go overhead, you can always do a seal jack too. Any version of that works. So from there, that's exercise number 4. And the last exercise we have today is exercise number 5 is a sit-up. And I'll be calling these out often, so please don't worry, you shouldn't forget them. Doing a sit-up coming all the way up. Feet in the ground, abs tight, up. If you have to make it a little bit easier, you can always put your feet into a wall or into something that can keep them more stable. You can also turn that into a hands knee crunch. Chest up, eyes looking up. 1, 2, next one would be up to 4, the next one would be up to 6, next one would be up to 8, and so on, right? We're going up by 2s each round. So that was 1 full round of things we went through. You'll be doing 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 4, 4, 4, 4. So round 1 is going to go super fast. Round 2 will be fast. About round 10 it'll start to really slow down on you, okay? And you just keep going for as many rounds as you can inside of the next 20-minute window. So again, the way it will work is you have 20 minutes. Each round, you're going to go 2, 2, 2, and then add 2 more reps the next round, add 2 more reps the next round, and just keep going. All right, guys, go ahead, get your music cranked up. I'll try to speak loud so you can hear me over the music. You're going to start off in a goblet squat or a squat position, okay? Or a wall sit. 20-minute timer. Have your water bottle close. Please get drinks as often as you feel comfortable doing it. All right, here we go. Let's get that 20 minutes started. In 3, 2, 1, begin.
Exercise 1.
2 squats, followed by 2 hand walkouts. 2 squats, followed by 2 hand walkouts. If you haven't started, please go ahead and begin. After the 2 hand walkouts, then you have 2 rows. 2 squats, 2 hand walkouts, 2 rows or Supermans. And then 2 shoulder flexion jumping jacks followed by 2 sit-ups. So we have 2 hand walkouts, 2 rows, 2 shoulder flexion jumping jacks, 2 sit-ups. Then you're going back into 4 goblet squats. So we have 2 rows, 2 shoulder flexion jumping jacks, 2 sit-ups, then 4 goblet squats, 4 hand walkouts, and 4 rows. You just keep going through that. The squats don't have to be a double bounce at the bottom. They can just be a regular squat up and down. So we have 2 squats, 2 hand walkouts. We should be on 4 now. 4 squats, 4 hand walkouts, 4 rows, 4 shoulder flexion jumping jacks, and 4 sit-ups. 4 hand walkouts, 4 rows, 4 jumping jacks, and 4 sit-ups. Looks like everybody's on those hand walkouts. From the hand walkouts, you're going to the rows, 4 jumping jacks, 4 sit-ups, 4. Just keep moving through those. So as soon as you're done with your set of 4 of the jumping jacks and sit-ups, then you're going back into 6s, okay? Once you're back into squats again, 6. So 4 of everything and then 6 of everything. The 5 exercises are squats, hand walkouts, rows, jumping jacks, and sit-ups. Two minutes down. As you can tell, as the rounds go longer, you'll take a lot longer to go through a round. Looks like some people are getting on to 6 reps of each thing. So in the 6 rep range, it's 6 goblet squats, 6 hand walkouts, 6 rows or seated rows or Supermans, 6 shoulder flexion jumping jacks, 6 sit-ups. If you get lost on anything, guys, just do an exercise that you can remember and do the most recent rep range that you can think of. And then you can always go from there. We're just looking to get work in. Don't get too worried about getting confused. After the jumping jacks, you have 6 sit-ups, and then back into 8 goblet squats. Exercise number 1 is squat. Exercise number 2 is hand walkout. Exercise number 3 is row. Exercise number 4 is jumping jacks. And exercise number 5 is sit-ups. Remember, on sit-ups, you can do hands and knee crunches, or you can do a sit-up where you put your feet into the wall or something that's stable to help kind of hold you in position. On the hand walkout, you can add a push-up if you want to make it a little bit harder. So we have rep range 2, then we have rep range 4, then rep range 6, rep range 8. Possibly some people are on that rep range 10. So we have 8, 10, going up by 2s each round. Four minutes down, 16 minutes left. So if you went out of the gate a little hot, pace yourself a little bit. We do have a finisher today. So goblet squats, followed by hand walkouts, followed by rows, followed by shoulder flexion jumping jacks, followed by sit-ups. Modify anything any way you need to. If something doesn't feel right, go ahead and pick a modification to that. Sit-ups, then you're back into goblet squats. Some people are on 10s, maybe people are back around to round 12 already. So remember, going up by 2 each round. Shoulder flexion jumping jacks. You'll end the round with sit-ups or hands and knee crunches. Don't forget on the row, you can do it standing or seated if you have a band. Good job, guys. You're doing great. I know a few of you guys don't use music while you work out. Probably hear some heavy breathing right now. You have goblet squats, followed by hand walkouts, followed by rows, shoulder flexion jumping jacks, and sit-ups or hands and knee crunches. If that weight's feeling a little heavy on those squats, you can always go body weight. After the rows, there's jumping jacks. After the jumping jacks, there's sit-ups or hands and knee crunches. As you start to wear down on those sit-ups and that volume gets larger and larger, don't be afraid to use support if needed, instead of going right to hands and knee crunches. That's a huge jump between the two of those. Not sure what rep range everybody's on, but remember it goes 2, and then round 4, and then round 6, round of 8, round of 10, round of 12, then round of 14, round of 16, round of 18, round of 20, and then as far as your imagination can go. When all said and done, this is still easier than Murph. Great effort, guys. On those hand walkouts, keep your feet about shoulder width apart. It gives you a little bit more stability as you walk out. As the volume of those hand walkouts go up as well, don't be afraid to go from the push-up position just to a regular hand walkout as you start to wear down. I want those push-ups to stay quality the whole time. So if we have to reduce that number, that's okay. Just do the hand walkout. 12 minutes left. Squats, hand walkouts, rows, jumping jacks, and sit-ups. Great work, everybody. This is a time when that mental side really kicks in. You just got to keep going. We have goblet squats or wall sits, hand walkouts, rows, shoulder flexion jumping jacks, and sit-ups. Great effort so far, guys. Keep moving. We have 9 minutes left. Way past that halfway point. The volume should be really increasing, so exercises should be taking you longer as you go. So if you need to take a little bit more rest, make sure you guys are grabbing drinks. Definitely warmer outside. It might be warmer in your houses as well. Grab drinks as you need those. We have squats, hand walkouts, rows, shoulder flexion, jumping jacks, and sit-ups. On those rows, make sure you're rowing towards the bottom of your rib cage, not the armpits, towards the bottom of your rib cage. This is when that Rocky montage music starts playing in your head. Just keep going. Got squats, hand walkouts, rows, shoulder flexion jumping jacks, and sit-ups or hands and knee crunches. All right, guys, down to the last 6 minutes. I'm going to call out the time a little bit more often now that we're close to the end. 6 minutes left. If you're getting a pretty big pile of sweat, you got to wipe it up so you don't trip on it or slip on it. 5 minutes left. Getting to that point in the rep range where it's probably taking a good couple minutes to get through a whole round, which is totally fine. It should be taking quite a while to get through these rounds as you get longer and longer, especially with those sit-ups and hand walkouts. Remember, it's going from squats into hand walkouts, into rows, into shoulder flexion jumping jacks, and into sit-ups. Today's finisher, you don't have to worry about counting at all, so you'll have all your counting out of your system after this. See some sweaty people there. Good job. We're down to the last 3 minutes. Last 3 minutes. Sometimes these can be the longest ones, anticipating it's almost over. Just keep working on your rep range. Just take one exercise at a time. Final 2 minutes. We have squats into hand walks, into rows, into shoulder flexion jumping jacks. Last exercise is sit-ups. Should be climbing by twos. Maybe you guys are at 20s now, 22, then 24, then 26. Final minute. 1 minute left. Just try to work on whatever you're working on. Try to get through that whole set if possible, or that whole exercise. So each one's probably going to be pretty long. 30 seconds. Don't quit till the end. Go until the end. 2, 1, and rest, guys. Great job. We're going to take a nice little 2-minute break here. Let Nathan get himself a chance to breathe before we demonstrate the finisher. We do have a finisher. It's only 5 minutes, so it's not going to take super long. I'll go ahead and let you guys rest a little bit, and I'm going to kind of explain how the finisher works. All right, guys. So the way this finisher works today is it's a 5-minute time frame. And so it's kind of, Nathan named it Trevor's Torture. So I get to pretty much do whatever I want. So inside of this, we're going to have 4 exercises that Nathan will demonstrate here in a minute. The way it works is, so the first exercise is skip. So you're doing the skip, and I get to pick whatever predetermined amount of time I want it to be. I'm not telling you guys how long it is. So it could be 20 seconds. It could be 40 seconds. Then I'll say plank, and you guys move over to that exercise, and then you hold onto plank however long I feel. It could be 10 seconds, probably not, but it could be 10 seconds. And then then we have lateral shuffle, bear crawl. So we have 4 different exercises, and I'll just be calling out different exercises. So if we get through it to bear crawl, I might be like, hey, let's do planks, and then go back into plank position. So you guys just have to listen to what I call out. I'll try to call it out multiple times, and you move to that position, and you just keep going until I say stop. So pretty much all you got to do is just go into it mentally knowing I'm going to do the exercise, and it could be 5 minutes long. It could be 10 seconds long. I have no idea. You have no idea. So, okay, so the 4 exercises are going to be, the first one is going to be a skip. So all we're doing is just moving opposite arm, opposite leg. We have a skip position. You can also do a march position if you can't do the jump part, marching back and forth. So let's say that's 20 seconds. And then I guess end of 20 seconds, okay, we're going to go over to our next exercise, which is a plank. So plank position, you can do it on your elbows or on your hands, and we're just hanging this position. So we're going to hold that as long as possible. And let's say I do it for another 20 seconds. And I'm like, okay, switch over to lateral shuffle. So he's going to stand up, and he's just going to shuffle from side to side. Be a little careful, especially if you've been sweating in an area, that you don't trip yourself. So from there, you can also do a 2-step shuffle on that too, okay? So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. So you're shuffling, let's say that's for 30 seconds. And then we're going to move over to a bear crawl. So on a bear crawl, those knees are just barely off the ground, walking forward and walking backwards, and walking forward and walking back. You just keep going until I say another exercise, or you can do a bird dog there instead, okay? So opposite arm, opposite leg, driving out, back in. Okay, abs tight. So you just have 4 exercises. All you got to do is listen to my voice calling out the exercise, and we'll hold it long enough that you'll get into the exercise. So. Okay, so first exercise everybody's going to start off with is going to be the skips. We have a 5-minute time frame on this. I won't tell you beforehand how long it's going to be. You just go. All right, guys, 5 minutes skipping, starting off. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Exercise 1.
Go ahead and start skipping. Planks, go into planks. Go ahead and get down that plank position. Abs tight, butt squeezed, holding it. Lateral shuffle or 2-step shuffle. Go ahead and stand up. Lateral shuffle, 2-step shuffle. Moving side to side. Be smart about how far you're going, okay? Don't run into anything. Just moving side to side. 2-step shuffle's fine too. Bear crawl or bird dog. Bear crawl or bird dog. Going down that bottom position, crawling a few steps forward, a few steps back, or opposite arm, opposite leg, abs tight, keep them tight. Bear crawls, try to keep those knees about 3 to 6 inches off the ground. We don't want them very far off the ground on those bear crawls. All right, back into lateral shuffles. Lateral shuffles. Keep moving, keep moving. And planks, going to planks. Skips, going to skips. Try to move pretty quickly in that skip position. Get our body moving. Remember, marching works too if you can't skip. Bear crawls or bird dogs. Bear crawls or bird dogs. If you can do a bear crawl, try to do it because it's going to be a lot tougher than those bird dogs. Back into skips. Going back into skips again. Knees up, knees up. Lateral shuffle, lateral shuffle. And your workout is complete, guys.